Welcome back to Heroes and Whiskey. We are printing our way through the D&D 5e Monster Manual, and today we are printing a figure that I have been looking forward to since I started this channel. The Demogorgon is probably the most famous D&D monster outside the game because of the popularity around Stranger Things, but this has got to be my favorite print so far. So this is the Demogorgon from Lord of the Print, and it is everything that you would want in a figure, something to drop on the table. It is dynamic, it is terrifying, it is just so well realized. Now I know that typically the Demogorgon is represented as having two baboon heads, and this guy obviously does not have that. He's a little more reminiscent of the Demogorgon that's on the cover of the Out of the Abyss adventure. And I just can't say enough about how cool this figure is. You know, I put myself in the spot of those kids from Stranger Things. I would have killed to have a figure like this to play with, whether in D&D or otherwise, when, you know, I was 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it is just so cool. So let's go out on my mini factory and see if there are any other choices. So in my mind, there are really only 3 Demogorgons to choose from on my mini factory. There's this one that we printed out from Lord of the Print. It's $22, which is a lot of money for a single print, but it is definitely worth it. There's this one, which is also really cool, from Archvillain Games. We printed their Aboleth. It was really, really hard to choose between this one and the one that we printed. I really love the base here. This one is just really cool. And Archvillain Games also has this Kagon aspect of Demogorgon, which is $25. It's a little bit different style, but just really, really incredible with the posing and the design. If you want something that's maybe a little less traditional, this is really cool too. I just love the tentacles and the claws, and it's got this, I don't know what these are, but this is a great option as well. So I do have to say, like a couple of the other Lord of the prints that we've printed, the scale of the Demogorgon was a little bit large for D&D. I think the Demogorgon is supposed to be about 15, 18 feet tall, and this was clearly larger than that. And so I ended up printing it out at about 70%, which actually made it easier to print the whole thing because I could print in fewer build plates. But I can't say enough about how well it was designed. I mean, all of the pieces that should have been hollow were hollow. There were drain holes. Everything went together fairly seamlessly. I mean, the only seams that you can really see are the ones around the necks and the heads. But overall, it's a really, really, really well-designed print. So in terms of size, I mean, I still think that even at 70%, it's a little large. And on top of this rock and the way it's bent over, it's a little hard to tell exactly what size it is. But this is going to be a boss battle for your party, and this is definitely boss battle size. In terms of resources, as I mentioned in the last episode, we are no longer tracking resin because I just couldn't get accurate measures of how much resin we were using. In terms of financial cost, it was $22. Again, kind of pricey for a single print, but is definitely worth it. It took over 16 hours to print all the various pieces. And again, I was printing it at 70%, and so I was able to get more on the build plate at once. In terms of total cost for all of the monsters that we have printed so far, we are up to $267. And with those 16 hours, we are now over 5 days and almost 7 hours. So I really can't say enough about this guy. It was just well designed. It looks great. It printed great. No issues whatsoever. Just a really fantastic example of what this hobby is capable of. And so next up, we'll be looking at the Demon Prince Grazed.